This is CNN Breaking News.
Hello, I'm Boris Sanchez in for Frederica Whitfield, who is off this weekend. We thank you for joining us, and we begin with breaking news from Charlottesville, Virginia, where 2 people have been injured in an altercation with protesters who are out in force over the planned removal of a Confederate statue. Watch this. This ugly scene unfolded just moments ago. From what we understand, clergy members have just arrived at Emancipation Park. That's the site of that protest today, leading groups in prayer. Meantime, militiamen armed with guns also began arriving a short while ago, and you see the result. Police are expecting thousands of people to show up for this demonstration today. The actual event was supposed to start an hour from now, but obviously the tensions in the crowd boiled over. All of this following violent clashes breaking out at a white nationalist march last night at the University of Virginia. CNN's Kaylee Horton is nearby. Kaylee, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Boris, the scene is escalating. We're here in Emancipation Park, formerly known as Lee Park, right in the middle of downtown Charlottesville. Now, 2 have been injured, as you mentioned, but that did not happen in that altercation that was so vivid that you just saw. That happened a bit before that. But the altercation you just saw, the first real show of violence that we've seen on any large scale, that was as the largest group of protesters at this point approached the park, clashed with another faction, and that fight broke out. Law enforcement didn't actually really have to break it up. Pepper spray was used by one group against another, and then both groups separated, and each went their respective ways. Tensions really escalating as we get closer to the noon hour. That's the time that this rally is scheduled to begin. But that large group you just saw, that was a big part of that fight breaking out, was led by Jason Kessler, the organizer of this Unite the Right rally, the Charlottesville local, and has really allowed his activism to catch the eye of white nationalists and supremacists across the country. There's a debate that they're having here in Charlottesville, Virginia, about the decision by the city council to remove the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee from this park. It's not a debate unique to Charlottesville. We're seeing these debates all over the country. What's unique about what we're seeing in Charlottesville today are the sheer number of people who are turning out and the different extremist groups who are gathering here today and coordinating their efforts. Police say we could see anywhere from 2,000 to 6,000 people congregating in Charlottesville today. Now, we're just in one park, the park that's at the center of the controversy, where General Lee's statue currently stands. But throughout the city of Charlottesville, we've heard of other gatherings, protesters, counter-protesters, and of course, you can't escape the images that were coming out of Charlottesville last night, a torch-lit rally led by the alt-right through the center of the University of Virginia campus. We're early in this day, Boris, and already tensions here in Charlottesville are high.
Got that, Kaylee. From what we understand, we've just confirmed that police are trying to hold the line now. This video is just from a few moments ago. We understand that pepper spray is now being used to try to control this crowd. Kaylee, if you could, we're seeing several protesters that appear to have shields and helmets and what appear to be batons or poles. What do we know about these people? It looks like they're holding signs that have a white background and a black X on them. What do we know about them?
I can't specifically speak to what unifies this group, but I do know this was the group that Jason Kessler, the organizer of this event, was seen marching in with. He said that there would be quite a show of force, so he's tried to say that he encourages peaceful protest today by anyone that he's associated with. But this group you're seeing and that you're speaking to, most definitely a member of the alt-right community. What's unique about today, as I mentioned, is that you're seeing so many different extremist groups coming together and unifying on either side of the argument. This group that you're speaking to, the largest we've seen arrive in numbers, and doesn't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. This rally expected to last until 5 p.m.
Now, Kayla, we want to stay with you. We're watching some of these protesters try to get liquid in their eyes. It appears that they were hit with pepper spray. From what we understand, this is more than 1,000 law enforcement officers and first responders that are deployed there. It's supposed to be the largest deployment by Virginia State Police in 30 years. What have you heard about what law enforcement has done to prepare for this, and what are they doing now?
Well, that pepper spray that you mentioned, from what I observed, the pepper spray was not dispersed by police. The pepper spray was dispersed by men in the streets as they fought one another. There were chemical agents dispersed last night during that torchlit rally by law enforcement, which led to that gathering breaking up rather quickly. But the 1,000 law enforcement and responders that you spoke to, this is the third demonstration of this kind that Charlottesville has seen this summer. The mayor and other city officials made a point of saying they've learned from the experiences of this summer, other gatherings, and being very well aware, thanks to the research and recon they could do with groups interested in participating in today. They recognized that today was going to be different. They recognized today was going to be a different set of challenges because of the sheer number of people. So today you're seeing a coordination of state and local officials. As you mentioned, this is the largest deployment of Virginia State Police in one place in the Commonwealth in 30 years. That's a very strong show of support from the state of Virginia. And also, Governor Terry McAuliffe has said he's got the National Guard on standby if they should need to be deployed here to Charlottesville. Mayor Mike Signer of Charlottesville, who's also a faculty member at the University of Virginia, has said he feels that his city has the resources they need to protect people going about their everyday lives in Charlottesville, but of course do their best to keep the peace among all of these visitors to Charlottesville, many of whom, as you can imagine, are coming here from outside of Charlottesville to take place in an effort to have their voice heard today.
Yeah, Kaylee, the Southern Poverty Law Center called this the largest hate gathering of its kind in decades in the United States. We're going to stay on top of this story, monitoring these live pictures, and we will return to Kaylee as soon as we can. Please stay with us. We're going to stay on top of this and all the latest breaking news when we come back.